What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to sew a romper. Now I'm sure you wonder, Ada, which one is romper again? Well, a romper is basically like a jumpsuit, but this is a jumpsuit with a knicker, like a short. You know, in Nigeria we call it knicker, but you both used to call it short. Anyway, let me just call it short for my international readers. So today's tutorial is going to be on how to cut a romper. And a romper is just a shirt or a blouse and a short sewed together. And this tutorial is going to be like the simplest, easiest, quickest. So if you've been seeing a romper around, you've been seeing a lot of girls slaying in rompers, you just want to look cute in a short and a blouse stitched together, definitely keep watching. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Like, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that whenever I post a video you get notified. So if you want to, you know, learn how to sew a romper, let's go. Okay, let's go.
So here are things I'm starting with my pattern paper, the front part and the back part, my fabric, my scissors, my ruler, my chalk, and some office paints. So starting with the top part of the romper, this fabric is already on a fold of 2, and the length of the fabric is 17. That's the length of the blouse is 17. I just went ahead to mark out my zip allowance portion, and I did that across the entire length of the fabric. Then I used my ruler and I drew a straight line so I can have like a strict working piece for the zip allowance. And after that I went ahead to fold in the zip allowance. I just folded the zip allowance on each other, as you can see. When I was done folding, I folded the fabric again, and this made my fold 4. So this is a fold of 4. Then I flipped the fabric over so that I can start marking the dimensions of my neckline. So that's my zip allowance. So from the center of my fabric, I marked 5 inches for my neck width. Then from the top I marked 4 inches for my neck depth. And after that I just used my chalk and I drew the outline of the neckline. So from the center I extended my tape backwards and I marked my shoulder point at 8.5 inches. Now that's the original shoulder, that's the original length of my shoulder, and I marked the exact length because I was going to take off 1 inch because I was going to attach a puffy sleeve. Okay, just have that at the back of your mind. So I extended my tape downwards and I marked 8 inches for my armhole depth. Then I drew my armhole curve. Don't mind the fabric here, like I was really minimizing my fabric here because I'd used the fabric to do something else, so that's why I have a small allowance. So for the top of my fabric I marked 6 inches, that's for the back now, as my neckline, the depth of my neckline, and I also marked 5 inches for my neck width. So when I was done marking, as usual, I just drew connected the markings together, and for the back I drew sort of like a V neck. For the front I drew a circle neck, for the back I drew a V neck. For the front I drew a round neck, for the back I drew a V neck, as you can see. So when I was done marking, I just used my scissors and I cut out the outline I have created with my markings. Then I did the same for the front as well. Then I cut the shoulder slant. And extended it to the armhole. Then I opened the sides of the fabric because you know it was on a fold before. So there you have it for the blouse piece of the romper. That's the back part. This is the front part, a V and a round neck, front, back. Then I moved over to the shorts. Now I already have a detailed video on how to cut a short or a knicker on this channel. I'm going to link that video in the description box. So it was exactly how I cut the short in that video. That was how I created this pattern. So if you're interested in knowing how I created the pattern, just go watch that video on how I cut a short. That was how I created the pattern exactly. So I just laid the pattern on the fabric and traced out my circumference on the fabric, if you understand what I mean. So I did same for the front, and I also did same for the back as well. When I was done cutting both the front and the back piece, this is what I have: the back, the front. So to start sewing, this is the front piece. I'm just going to sew along that axis to join both pieces of the front part together. So I took it over to my sewing machine and ran straight stitches across the curve, or along the curve rather, like so. When I was done, from that point I marked 4 inches for my dart, and I extended my tape downwards and marked 4 inches as well. So to draw my dart curve, I also marked out half an inch on both sides from the center of my dart placement, which making it like 1 inch on making it 1 inch on both sides of the dart. And I used my ruler and I connected it like so. Like what I'm just trying to explain is I marked half an inch to pick up the dart on both sides. So this is the dart I have here after sewing it. So this is what it looks like for the front part. That's the dart. You can see the half an inch mark. By the time you pick it, it makes it 1 inch. Okay, that's what I was trying to explain. So when I was done with the front, I went ahead and did same thing for the back. So I was done joining the back together. Well, next thing I did was I took my time to mark the dart for the back. And you know, if you watch the knicker tutorial, one thing I did in knicker tutorial was that I added like half an inch, 1.5 inches for my dart placement at the back. So what you want to do here is you're not going to like mark half an inch on both sides for the dart placement. You're going to mark sort of like 3/4 of an inch, so that by the time you pick your dart and you want to join your blouse, everything will be all balanced up. Do you understand? So at the point where you mark your dart, what you want to go ahead to do when you want to like mark the width of your dart from both angled side of the dart, you want to mark about 3/4 of an inch, not half an inch, as opposed to the front part of the knicker of the short as well. I hope you understand. I'm using short and knicker interchangeably because people refer to it with different names. So I'm just going to pick the dart for both sides of the short. So this is how you pick your dart. I really had to do this one detailed because I noticed for the front part I didn't show it. So that's how you fold and pick your dart with the marks you've created. Then you take it over to your sewing machine and just sew it along that axis. So I did that for both parts of the shorts, both sides of the back part of the shorts. So this is what I have here. So this is what it looks like. So after sewing the back and the front part of the shirt, I moved over to marking the dart for the blouse, and from the top of from my shoulder point, I marked 9.5 inches, which is like my nipple point on the normal day when I'm marking my dart. Then from the center, I went ahead to mark 4 inches for the distance between both darts. You guys understand this placement now? When I was done marking, I used my ruler and I drew a straight line on the 4-inch width point. Then from that part, I just marked half an inch on both sides for the width of the dart. So when I was done marking that, I went ahead to use my ruler to draw the outline for the dart, and this sort of looks like a triangle. So when I was done marking the dart for both sides of the blouse, I took it over to my sewing machine and I followed the outline of my marking and I picked my dart. So this is what the dart for the front part of the blouse looks like. Then I went ahead and I did the same thing for the back part of the blouse. So after picking the dart for the front part of the blouse and the back part of the blouse, I laid my blouse piece, both the front piece and the back piece, on each other, and I joined the shoulder lines together. So right now I'm attaching both the back part and the front part of the blouse together. So I sewed along that as it's like so. So I'm done sewing my shoulder line. Next thing I went ahead to do was mark out my measurements. So from the top of the blouse, I marked 8 inches. Then I marked out my blouse. I marked out my bust at 8.5 inches. Here you just have to insert your own measurements, okay? Then I marked my under bust at 7.5 inches. Actually my under bust is like 7.2 inches, but because this is a romper and I don't want it to be so tight, I marked 7.5 inches. Understand? I also went ahead to mark my waist at 7.5 inches. On normal day my waist is 28 divided by 4, 87 inches, but because it's a romper and I need easy access, I marked at 7.5 inches. So you might want to take note of these measurements when you are making yours, these allowances when you are making yours. So after marking out my bust, my under bust width and my waist, I went ahead to do same thing for the other side of the blouse, and I connected it with a ruler. Like, it's not a straight line, it's more like slanted curvy line from my bust to my under bust to my waist. I just connected my markings with a line. Then I'm going to sew both sides like so. So I'm going to run stitches across that outline of markings. So I took it over to my sewing machine and joined the sides of my blouse together. So after joining the sides of my blouse, I went ahead to do like a little overlock. Then the next thing I'm going to do now, you guys notice that I didn't cut a facing for this blouse. I'm going to use this bias tape to tape the neckline of my blouse. Okay, so I'm going to use a bias tape. I'm going to tape the neckline of my blouse, which was what I did here. You guys know how to pipe the neckline of your blouse. If you don't know, just let me know. I might do a tutorial for you. So this is what it looks like when I was done piping my neckline. This is what the back looks like. The other side was what the front looks like. So now that I've successfully sewn the blouse, what I'm going to do for the shorts is I'm going to join the center piece of the front like so. Of the shorts rather, I think I said front. So I laid the back part and the front part on each other. I want to join the center together, like they call this one the inseam or the in leg. So I want to join the inseam of both the front side of the short and the back side of the short together. So I'm just going to lay them on each other like so, and I'm going to run stitches from the center downwards, from the center downwards as well. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined the front part and the back part with the center piece. When I was done joining, I gave it a good press and I did like an overlock. So this is what it looks like. I did a zigzag stitch, not an overlock. I did a zigzag stitch. So this is what it looks like when I was done joining. So I'm done joining. Then I've already gone ahead to mark out my measurements, my waist, my hips, and circumference of my tie for both sides. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sew them together. So I took it out to my sewing machine and I joined the back part and the front side of the shirt together. Okay, like I said at the beginning of this tutorial, like sewing a romper is very simple and very easy. You can see how I'm taking my time to explain the steps to you one after the other. So I joined the front part and the back part together. After joining it together, I piped. Okay, no, I've not piped yet. So after joining it together, I took the blouse and I made sure that the center of the blouse lapped with the center of the front part of the short, and I secured it with an office pin. Then I went ahead to lap the darts and the side seams together to make sure that everything is well fitted. Like I didn't want the dart to be like 1 inch away from its normal point, so I wanted the dart point of the blouse and the dart point of the short to be on the same point for precision, so that your dress won't come out clumsy. So that's what I did. So after pinning the blouse and the short together and securing them with office pins, I'm going to sew them together like so. You guys can see how this tutorial is going. Very simple, very easy. So I took it out to my sewing machine and I joined them together. If you've watched up to this point and you're enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, like men and brethren, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Okay, so I'm slowly and quietly sewing it together. Now when you are sewing, you want to make sure as you are sewing, the movement of the dog feed is not pushing the dart away from each other. Like the dart points, you know, they're supposed to meet so that your dress will come out nice and fine. you understand. So make sure everything is in place. Use your hand, use your pin to put everything in order, hold them in place so that it will come out nice and it will have like this professional touch. So that's what I did till I got to the under end of the outfit. Then I did a back stitch. So after joining it, I went ahead to pipe the bottom of the short. You can see I've already piped it with the bias tape that I used to pipe the neckline of the blouse. So this is what I have here. This is the blouse and the short already together. You can see the romper is coming together already, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing I did was I used this invisible zip that stood up on me. I used this invisible zip and I joined it to the back part of the blouse. So I took it back to my sewing machine and I changed my foot presser to that of the zipper foot presser, and I attached this zip to the dress. Although this zip after a while snapped, so I had to change it to another zip, but this is what we have here. I joined the zip to the dress. Then I went ahead to shape out my armhole and attach my sleeve. Now this is a puffy cap sleeve. I have a tutorial on how to cut a cap sleeve here on this channel. I'm going to link that tutorial in the description box. So it's just very simple and easy to cut. So I'm going to attach it to my shoulders right now. And if you want to find out how I shaped out my shoulders, or as well, I have a detailed tutorial on how to shape out your armhole, not shoulder. I have a detailed tutorial on this channel as well, so I'm going to link that tutorial in the description box. So check the description box, all you need is there. So I attached the sleeve to my armhole and I secured it with office pins. You can see I also piped the hem of the sleeve as well. So this is more like a little design, so I'm going to sew like that. So I took that to my sewing machine and I just joined the sleeve to the armhole, and it's not like a full sleeve, it's like a half sleeve. Okay, so when I was done joining the sleeve, you guys know that the down part of the armhole will be open. So what I just did was I used another fabric to turn it over, and after joining it I folded it and I did like hemming stitches. I did this with my needle. Okay, so this is what the final look of the romper looks like. Isn't it snatched? Isn't it cute? Isn't it, I don't know what to call it. Okay.